Okay, so thank you for attending this TradeVSA weekly training. So moving forward, I think I will continue back this weekly training because previously, for members that you all joined before the MCO 3.0, we got this kind of Friday weekly training, but because of the MCO, okay, we do this daily live Facebook at 3 p.m. So that's why we stop at the moment. Okay, now we will continue back. Okay, because next week I will going back to office already, so I might not have time to do the afternoon review section. Okay, but if let's say I got time, probably I would do a additional one. Okay, so hello everyone. Okay, let's continue. Let's start today topic. So I think this is like I can say a continuation, okay, from the 7-day series. So hopefully, especially like new members, I do send out the link, everything. Hopefully you can watch again the 7-day tutorial. So this is just like the continuation or the additional parts, okay, additional parts from the 7 days tutorial. So today we're going to cover how to read reaccumulations correctly. Okay, so again, this is how to read the market phases. Okay, when I say market phases, which means we are referring to market stages. So remember the 4 market stages we do talk about. So this is like a the detailed parts, okay, on the market stages part. Okay, but first of all, you need to know what exactly is market stages first. Okay, so it's very important. From time to time, if you sometimes you lost, okay, go back to the 7-day tutorial again and just watch again. Okay, now first of all, very important things. What is actually the difference between accumulation, reaccumulation, and distribution? I think accumulation is kind of easy to identify, okay, compared to like distributions. But the main things is a lot of people confuse, especially like me as well. If you ask me currently, I still not really can get 100% correctly, is reaccumulation and distribution. Okay, again, I hate to say this, but really this is the most difficult one to spot. Sometimes I think that this stock, it seems like doing a reaccumulation, but like John, they sell off. Okay, but today we want to spot something you will notice in a very obvious sign. Okay, so again, most of the time, what I'm trying to say is that market won't move, okay, the same way all the time, but at least 60-70% of the time we're able to spot something is is very obvious. Okay, so this is the things that we want to avoid totally. Okay, those that are not very obvious, okay, we follow our trading plan and the stop loss. Okay, now first of all, what is accumulation? So accumulation happens after the market has bottomed. What it means by bottom, which means the background comes with distribution, markdown. Okay, which means the stock is marked down, going down, and the price has bottom, and then they move sideways, a long period of consolidation. Okay, so this is what it means. Okay, so market at bottom after some markdown stage, price moves sideways. Okay, so there is accumulation. Okay, with the background of markdown stage. Now reaccumulation, it means that it's a process of absorbing the stocks during markup stage. All right, so the main difference between accumulation and reaccumulation is that accumulation happens right after markdown. Reaccumulation happens in between markup stage. Okay, so this is like a temporary pause in a major uptrend, and it can take the weeks to months. Okay, depending how is the background. Okay, I will share later on. So for example, price goes up. Okay, this is again downtrend. Accumulation. Okay, let me add the members in. Okay, downtrend, accumulation. So this is the first stage accumulation. So it goes to markup. Okay, sideways before it goes up. So this is what we're referring to reaccumulation. So it happens between the markup stage. Now the distribution, okay, is the exact opposite of accumulation. Price will consolidate after a strong markup. Okay, so the main difference between distribution and and accumulation is distribution happen after the strong markup. Okay, again, we look for something that is very obvious, okay, in terms of the sign, okay, or signals, okay, and we plan accordingly. Okay, so this is what we're trying to do today. Okay, now again, few things. What is the difference between pullback and reaccumulation? Now reaccumulation and pullback happen in the same market stages. So again, whenever we mention pullback, okay, like Sifufu mentioned as well, you have to come with some sort of like a uptrend, right? If let's say there's no uptrend, there's no pullback because price is that doesn't goes up and retrace. So pullback again happens after the LC bar, line change bar, which is potentially uptrend as well. So, but what is the main difference? Now, this is a few things that you can actually try to differentiate between two. Okay, so pullback usually happen within a short period of time. Okay, so which means sometimes 2 days, 3 days it completed. Sometimes it takes like 1 or 2 weeks is completed. Okay, so most of the time you're holding on LC. So hopefully again you go back to the 7-day tutorial, the last day we talk about the basic pullback setups. Okay, how well the price actually holding on LC. Now, if let's say you ask me recently what is the stocks they're holding on LC, what's the stocks right here? SciPark. I can't recall right now. eForce. Okay, maybe there are a few. Okay, so is that how to see market stages in future? Can you see CL if CL if you have time? CL, you means crude oil, like because to be frank, like crude oil or the futures market, usually I didn't really pay attention to, but okay, later I got time, I go into CL too. Okay, but market stages have to look into a longer time frame to check the overall direction of the markets there. Okay, now pullback, the other thing is that most of the time it will hold well on the 2040s. So like I say, pullback actually it happened in a short period of time. So most of the time it's like a temporary retracement, a quick retracement, and most of the time you're holding well within the 2040s. Okay, of course, no major weakness in the background. Of course, the UT sometimes it happens, but UT average volume, low volume, I think is still okay, right? So what is the difference between pullback and reaccumulation? Okay, so it's a strong uptrend. Price will move more than 100% most of the time. Okay, which means after accumulation, stock breaks up very climatic. Okay, depending on the price of the stock, because this is just an estimation. Remember, okay, this is just an estimation. Why? Because sometimes, for example, a stocks of 20 ringgits, for example, 20 ringgits, it moved 50%, so it needs 10 ringgits. Okay, so it's a big move as well. But if let's say the stock is 20 cents, okay, it moved 100%, is only need another 20 cents, which is total is 40 cents. Okay, so it can achieve 100% very fast. Okay, so again, 100% is just for me to give an estimation. Okay, if let's say, of course, the stock prices is expensive, I think like if let's say 20 ringgit, if let's say move around 10 ringgit, is also big movements already. All right, so usually after, like for example here, accumulation goes up, okay, climatic, and you realize it will have some sort of like a sign of weakness. Okay, so what is the sign of weakness? Okay, hopefully you all still remember few things: buying climax, uptrust. Okay, buying climax, uptrust. Then followed by price will break below 2040s. Okay, when I say break below 2040, usually it's a huge drop, usually on the first round. Okay, huge drop like this. Okay, pullback is sideways, goes up a little bit and goes up. Okay, this is the one that it breaks the 2040s. All right, so okay, so this is just want to draw this example here. Okay, accumulation. Okay, after some downtrend. Okay, of course, volume you all understand, hopefully right now, the 7 days tutorial we should be covered. Okay, whenever there's change of trend, there is high volumes. Okay, accumulation is around this area, so markup, volume increasing, pull back. Okay, holding about 2040s, pull back, holding about 2040s. Okay, and suddenly climatic. Okay, so once the climatic ready, big drop. Okay, and this is the one that usually you cut below the 2040s. Okay, so this is the one to tell you that okay, the strong weaknesses is coming. Okay, and at the time, to be frank with you, at this point of time, when it cut below 2040s, okay, when it cut 2040s, we're still not sure yet. Okay, is this a distribution or reaccumulation? Okay, we still cannot sure yet 100%. Is this a distribution going down, or is this going to be sideways reaccumulation? Of course, the sign, or maybe the sign of strength, you can spot. Okay, subsequently from here. Okay, subsequently from here. Okay, so this is a better confirmation to tell us that, okay, is this stock currently having a big distribution or reaccumulation? All right. So just please type one for me if you can follow so far. Okay, type one for me if you can follow so far. Type two, somehow like unsure and lost a little bit. Okay, so at least the first part just want to share with you, okay, what's the main difference between all these few things. Okay, because like I said, reaccumulation distribution is always the one that confusing. Okay, most of the time, to be frank, I also cannot really like get it 100% correctly. Okay, but like I said, there are a few things we can always take notes to. Is there any buying climax, uptrust, high volume, subsequently a big down bar, cross 2040? These are things that I don't like. Okay, now few sign in reaccumulation that you should take notes. Okay, few sign if you want to ensure this is a reaccumulation. I know there are a few points over here, it's like a bit confusing, but don't worry. Okay, later on you just focus three things. Okay, this is slightly a bit in details. Okay, this is like a bit in details, but don't worry about that. Okay, so we go through later on. Okay, practice slowly. Okay, now first sign, usually like I say, when a reaccumulation start, usually you have a very super bullish trend on the background. So I think technically it makes sense. Okay, if you think this way, a reaccumulation, like I said just now, the definitions, right? A reaccumulation is a temporary pause in the uptrend. Okay, so which means maybe the uptrend is they are really exhausted. Okay, maybe smart money are taking profits, the new buyer is coming in, and when the new buyer is coming in, technically they need time to do accumulation, right? So when stock is in super bullish, okay, so usually it's time for them to sell. Okay, or maybe they will pick up back, okay, at the bottoms, or maybe somewhere in between here. Okay, and it continues to sideways. Okay, because they're going to buy slowly, right? So this is the first sign. Okay, after super bullish trend, technically will be exhausted. Okay, so during this super bullish uptrend, super strong uptrend, okay, this is a few sign that you want to pay attention to. Okay, on the background, it will come with again buying climax. Okay, price keep going up, volumes keep coming up. Okay, suddenly uptrust, maybe something got uptrust and I don't have uptrust, or change of behavior. Okay, so few very good example, like for example, if let's say the stocks, all this what is nail spread, they goes up, nail spread. It's not nail spread, but the candles, everything is like average. Mostly it's the same for the past 5 days, 10 days ago, and suddenly, okay, they got like this kind of widespread bar. Okay, so this is again a sign of that tells that there is a potential change of behavior. Okay, down bar high volume also is a change of behavior because the weakness is in control right now. Okay, so price will drop below 2040s. Okay, again, they will cut through below 2040s. It comes with high volume red pentagon, so this is expected. Okay, because it's a widespread down bar. Okay, it tells that okay, the strong selling is happening right now. Now the interesting things, and the next thing after this happen, okay, this happens, you want to pay attention to this. Okay, high volume up bar to stop the downtrend. Okay, well, high volume up bar to start a downtrend. Now this is the bar that tells you is this current stocks is going distribution or continuation of the markdown. Okay, so after this bar appeared in the chart, few things again you want to monitor. Price usually will go back again to 2040s. Okay, once it go back to 2040s, it will test 2040 with low volumes. Okay, it will test 2040s with low volumes again. And most important is that whenever they test, okay, whenever they test, they have to be higher, okay, than the up bar high volume, okay, which is point number 4 here. Okay, point number 4. Okay, then subsequently they will retest for several times. Okay, because like I said, during this kind of reaccumulation, which is they will take months, okay, they'll take months. Most of the time they will drop below 2040 for a few times. Okay, so for example here, it goes up. Okay, first round big pullbacks. Okay, and then subsequently here, right? So this kind of sideways, okay, they will tend to drop below 2040s for several times. okay, which is pretty normal because it's a ranging sideways markets, okay. But most important is that whenever this up bar high volumes, okay, this is point number 4, this point number 4, okay, usually it will happen somewhere around here, huh? Again, doesn't mean that all the stock will happen around here, but most of the time, okay. So sometimes it will be here, sometimes it's here, sometime later on, okay. So most important is that this bar have to hold the price whenever they come to test back, okay, in the same areas, okay, in the same areas. Okay, I know this is a bit confusing, okay, I know this is a bit confusing. I will give you one case study, okay, then you ask me some questions later on, okay. Now, 3 simple steps, okay, to summarize the 8 points earlier on. 3 simple steps to differentiate, okay, if this stocks is going through reaccumulation or distribution, okay, after the price cut below 2040s, okay. First of all, we need the up bar high volume after weaknesses, okay, which means after weakness, sell off high volumes, we need this up bar high volume to come into the chart. Now, when this up, the reason why we need this up bar is to ensure that someone is willing to step in to buy. Okay, so that's why if you realize, let me go back to my previous slide. Okay, if you realize in this point here, again, this is a very important point. Okay, why the price must hold on this up bar? Because this up bar, okay, if let's say this up bar here is a buying bar, technically it should hold above the bars. Okay, it should hold above the bars. So price cross and test 2040 for several times. It can be more than 2 times, definitely more than 2 times. Okay, because like I said, after a strong uptrend already, maybe hundreds, depending on the price, sometimes it's 200, 300%. Reaccumulation tends to take longer. Okay, it can be up to 8-9 months. Okay, like for example, I share with you my Signtech. Okay, have been moving for 8 months already. I think MSCB. Okay, I exit already, honestly. But you know, recently I looked back into MSCB, mega first. Okay, they are still sideways. Okay, for 8-9 months. So during this 8-9 months, definitely the price will still crossing, okay, around the 2040 for at least more than 2 or 3 times. Okay, so this is expected. Okay, this is expected. Okay, now the price on this area over here, okay, in this sideways area over here, you have to be higher, prefer to be higher, okay, on this up bar high volume. Again, this up bar high volume is somewhere around here. Okay, like I say, up bar high volume after weaknesses. So this is like a weakness. Okay, price sell off, and this is the bar, the up bar high volume to stop all this weakness. Okay, and you don't want this bar to fail. Okay, which means you want this bar to continue to become a good support in this reaccumulation. All right, so now let's look into this chart. I think this is a chart that a lot of people kind of familiar. Okay, kind of familiar. You should know this chart. So a few things, let me go through your first. Okay, let me go through your first. We just go through step by step, using the point earlier on. Okay, this is one of the chart that I think illustrate the best. Okay, of course, like I said, not all the chart will go through the 7-8 points. Okay, but mostly about the same. Okay, mostly about the same. Now let's look into background. This is what we refer as pullback. Okay, LC high volume, very nice. Drop low volumes, holding about 2040s, and usually it took around like how many weeks? I think like two weeks. Okay, I think this is like around 2 weeks. Some is few days to complete. Okay, so like for example here, pullback few days, pullbacks 1 or 2 weeks, pullback 1 or 2 weeks, goes up. Okay, so this is pullback. So change of behavior happens if you realize, okay, after the price kind of like far away from 2040s, okay, the candles become wider and the down bar also become wider. Okay, so again, change of behavior is coming in this chart. So this is the first sign that tells you that there is a weakness coming in. Okay, so of course at this point of time, we still don't know whether the price will hit 2040 sideways, okay, and continue, or drop below 2040s. Now, like I said, usually when the price drop below 2040s, especially on this kind of movement, expect sideways for months. Okay, because this is the first sign to tell us that the trend is weakening. Okay, this is pullback. Okay, pullback doesn't mean the trend is weakening. it's just like a temporary retracement, okay, on the strong uptrends. But when the price starts to break 2040, especially on this kind of climatic movements, expect a long period of reaccumulation. Okay, example like some of the steel counters too. That's why I think yesterday and today also a bit quiet already. Okay, because a lot of them actually start to hit some resistance, right? And if you look at the background, they are almost the same things too. They cross below 2040s, goes back up below 2040s. Okay, and the volume on the up bar slowly coming in again. So that's why I start to get a little bit interested. But I don't think it will straight away break up into uptrend that fast yet. Okay, because of the background. Okay, but they are doing few months of accumulations already, reaccumulation. Okay, so can start to pay attention to. Okay, now this is point number 2. Okay, and of course point number 3, red pentagon sell off. Okay, drop below 2040s. Now again, point number 4 is very interesting. Okay, where we mentioned about high volume up bar to stop the downtrend, right? If you realize this bar appears, right? This bar appears. Okay, now of course when you are trading the time, you might think that okay, this bar is a good bar because it's come with up bar high volume, and the time also thought that oh, this bar probably is the one that's going to stop the trends there. Okay, but it go below and another high volume is coming in back. Okay, which is this bar. So this bar definitely is stronger. Of course, I won't enter immediate on this bar because like I said, sometimes you never know, okay, whether they will go below and form an up bar higher volumes or not. Few things I want to look into to ensure this is a reaccumulation. First, they go back to 2040s. Okay, they drop, test back with low volume. Now, sometimes it will drop again 2040s. Not sometimes, but I think most of the time. Okay, because the reason is very simple. This is a reaccumulation after super bullish. So after the super bullish, especially the stocks, go up for hundreds, 200%. I think this is more than 200%. This is Tasco anyway. I think they go up from accumulations to here. I think it's 300, 400%, right? If not mistaken. So definitely you must expect a long period of reaccumulation. Okay, because previously it's already super bullish already. So a few things we want to look into here, 2 times. Now, if you ask me, I prefer them to at least test for 2 times, which means here, first time, second time. Okay, so this is telling me that, okay, yeah, they are coming to do reaccumulations, but don't expect the price will goes up after 1 or 2 months. It will continue to move sideways, okay, for few months. Okay, like I said, my Syntax 8 months. Okay, so this one probably I don't know. I think this one have been in reaccumulation for 6 months, right? Early this year. Okay? This is around like early of March or end of February the time. Okay, until now. So this is around like 6-7 months already. Okay, but I think it's getting better because the prices, everything seems like currently holding on 2040s. Okay, hopefully. Okay, so just start one for me. Yes, this is Tasco. Yes, this is Tasco. Hello, Mr. Tan. So just start one for me if you understand all the points so far. Type 1, type 2 if you think you still cannot get the idea totally. Okay, so again, straightforward things. Most important is that you're able to tell what is the high volume bar. Okay, but don't enter immediate after high volume bar. Okay, please. Because sometimes the high volume bar is the bar that very close with the weakness bar. So I usually don't like to enter immediately on the things. Okay, so like I said, I like to enter after it tests at least second time. Okay, if you are looking for something that slightly long term, if you think that, like for example, some of the counters good in FA, after some period of uptrend now moving sideways, if you think want to enter it, you can check out this few sign. Okay, again, this is very suitable for those who are looking to enter, okay, something that is long term, because this is definitely not suitable for short term traders. Okay, unless you want to try to earn within the support resistance, I think it's okay, but make sure the range is wide. Okay, so that's why the other day I covered about the VCP things, because VCP actually allows you to have a wider range, okay, for you to trade. Okay, now let's go to a few more example. I can't recall what is this stocks already. I think it's mistake if I'm mistaken. Okay, so this one also from I don't know how much this is, 30 cents to 40 cents. Okay, goes up to around 1.3. Okay, so this is a big movement. Okay, this is a big movement. So big movements, when they drop cross 2040s, you know the trend is weakening. Okay, the trend is weakening. Now this is like a bit of a reaccumulation. Okay, so here is like a small pullbacks. Okay, and then going up, cross 2040s, drop below, you know the trend is weakening. Again, whenever it drop below 2040s, the trend is weakening technically. Okay, the trend is weakening. So expect the price to have some period of sideways movements. Okay, unlike here, it dropped 2 days, 4 days goes up, drop 2 days, 4 days goes up. Okay, so here if you realize, just pay attention to volume. Okay, so like I say, some of the volume is not that obvious. Okay, but you still can spot. Okay, so for example here, one. Okay, it's just like, you know, going up, I believe is this green pentagon bar. Okay, so this is the first clue to tell us that the up bar is coming back. Okay, but don't enter first, okay, because sometimes it will make an inverse pullback later on. Okay, so when price cross 2040 first time, second time, okay, now this is getting better. Okay, which means they are still interested to stay above the 2040s. So of course, subsequent reaccumulation, I forgot to mention this, the subsequent reaccumulation, the price must hold well, okay, within the above, okay, this important bar. Okay, so like I say, of course, some of the bar like task is very obvious. Okay, for example here. So like I say, this kind of bar is actually is representing that someone is stepping in and willing to buy. So you don't want to see this bar fill. So if let's say this bar fill, which means this is not a buyer, okay, for this period of time. Okay, probably if someone is distributing on this up bar over here. Okay, now this is another example. I also forgot. Okay, I think I know this stocks. Okay, so this is a classic pump and dump counters. Okay, so we got accumulations, goes up climatically. Okay, I think a lot of people have been trapped over here as well. Okay, drop, make a pullbacks. Okay, I thought it's going to make a reaccumulation that time. Okay, because it actually trap a lot of buyer. Okay, especially on the good news that time. Okay, this is 80 if not mistaken. Okay, I just prepared the slide actually a few days ago, so I can really recall what's the name. If not mistaken, it's 80. So the time, again, I usually don't like this kind of point and dump counters, but I thought you're going to just stop over here because, you know, maybe I would like to participate. Okay, if let's say I got second round. So I noticed that the volume's coming in nicely. Okay, up bar, increasing volume over to 2 bars, including this uptrust bar. Okay, so a few things I want to see whether how well, okay, they tested around the low of this high volume bar. Okay, so what happened next is that they don't really test very well. Okay, so here example, when the price goes up, okay, so realize this is the first bar as well. This is the first bar, high volumes. Okay, so again, like I said, usually this high volume bar, it must hold very nicely. Okay, so second one's coming in also here. Okay, but it dropped below 2040s. I would like to see they goes up again, do another retest, but subsequently they fail to hold on these two important bar. Okay, which is the up bar high volumes. So whenever they fail to hold, which means that expect a continuation on the markdown stage. Okay, probably this 2 bar is the one that they used to distribute rather than they want to buy. Okay, so sometimes because of the selling is too fast already on the top. Okay, so smart money still got some stocks in their hand, so they will exit whenever got technical rebound. Okay, something like this. So we want to ensure that this bar is not, you know, smart money use it to sell or opportunity to exit, but rather a new buyer is coming to buy. So that's why subsequent price after this reaccumulation, they must hold well, okay, within these up bar high volumes. Okay, so just want to ensure you all can follow so far. Type 1, break from which CP soon, which stocks, which VSTech. I'm hoping yes, because actually I was following also on VSTech. Currently, I think they are dropping below 2040 if not mistaken. So maybe of the Text also a bit weak at the moment, so it needs to wait for a while. Okay, so just let me know if you all can follow so far. Okay, understand how to use this. Okay, up bar high volumes. Okay, tab 1 yes, tab 2 no. Okay, so usually after like this kind of climatic movement, price retrace heavily, I would definitely monitor for these 2 bar. Okay, especially, okay, this is also I forgot to mention, especially, okay, especially like for example, this from bottom to here, okay, for example, this stocks has go up 200%. Okay, this stock has gone 200%. And for top to the bottom, if let's say this area here, again, depending on the stock price, okay, but most of the time, if I realize around 40%, I will wait for this kind of bar to appear, okay, in my chart. Okay, so imagine, let's say this is 1 ringgit counters, okay, this is 1 ringgit, and 40%, this is almost 60 cents already. So this is a big drop for me, okay? So let's say 50%, definitely you need to wait for this kind of bar to appear first. Then you monitor subsequently, is there any chance for them to do reaccumulation or not? Okay, but if let's say around like 15%, I think still okay. You know, most of the time, if let's say they drop 10-15%, again, depending on the price of the stocks, most of the time it's still actually above 2040s and potentially it's still a pullback. But if let's say 30-40%, yes, I will be extra careful, okay, on the parts. Okay, now this is I can't recall. I think this is also one of the very famous permanent counters. Oh, I think this is G packets. Okay, so it goes up, widespread down bar, okay, far away from 2040s. Against here, very important. Okay, now this is the first one, but this is a tiny bar. So usually we want to have a widespread bar. Okay, tiny bars, small candles. Usually I don't really want to use that. Okay, I prefer a widespread candles. Okay, so whenever you go widespread candles, of course you want to see subsequent immediate cross 2040s support bar. Okay, at least 2 times. Okay, because this is a big distribution. Okay, so usually right exactly after the distribution, I don't like to buy too close with my weakness bar, because maybe a few things, okay, the distribution might be haven't really completed yet, or maybe the accumulation just started, so sometimes they will tend to drag sometimes. Okay, so this is what happened, I think, after green packets. Oh, sorry, I think what happened is that after green packet, I think it go lower. Okay, because it doesn't really test 2 times above the 2040s. All right, so one thing is that you also need to bear in mind, okay, not all this kind of similar setup will work 100%. Okay, make sure if you spot this kind of counters, you also need to follow your stop loss. Okay, this is the one that actually I still remember, okay, because I just I trade few months ago. No, few months ago. Okay, I think this is earlier this year because I still remember this stocks very well. This is P Trans anyway. Okay, the reason why I still remember so well because I kind of got high hopes on this trade. Okay, because it goes up, okay, from 50 cents here to almost 90 cents. So it's a big jump, okay, almost like 80-90%. So of course I expect them to move a sideways because first sign drop, okay, from I think 90 cents to how much this is around 70-60 over cents. Okay, so it's a big drop and drop below 2040s. Okay, but a few things I realized is that it comes with high volumes, okay, over this SP bar if not mistaken. Okay, and subsequently after tested 2 times already, I realized most of the price actually is stopping around the areas. So that's why I entered the trade, because this is a well support area, high volumes area, and the price is trading above the areas. So that's why I go for a trade. Of course, I do realize also the time got pocket period. I think I trade on pocket periods. Okay, so this is a pocket period bar, kind of similar like G-Shen. Of course, G-Shen break already, kind of similar like what happens in RC cap right now too. So after it makes some pullback, I entered. Okay, I think I exit after it dropped below 2040s again. Okay, but luckily I avoided all this downtrend. Okay, so remember, not all is 100% will be successful, but at least, okay, you know how to plan the trades. Okay, don't immediately jump in whenever you you see a big pullback, okay, because you never know it will go through a reaccumulation or directly a distribution. Okay, now this is what I means. Please don't trade too close with your weakness bar, okay, because I think a lot of people will say that whenever the price drop already, because this is the FA counters, you know, the future is still very good, and because the price is cheap, they want to enter immediately. Okay, so few things that you have to take notes, okay, in this case. So going up, okay, UT, sell off. Okay, so whenever you see this bar, okay, this bar, up bar, high volumes, up, consider up bar line because it's close with green. Okay, don't immediate enter, okay, because you say, you know, later you will say, oh, Zach, you say up bar, high volume is a good support, okay, but it will drop lower because this is too close already with the weakness bar. Okay, if you look into something like Tasco, the up bar high volume actually happens after some period of time, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks later on. Okay, it formed. So this is more, looks more like healthy forming. Okay, you all understand this point? Type 1, yes. Type 2, no. What is the definition for pocket pivot? Okay, pocket pivot is kind of similar like LC, line change, but it's happened within a range, okay, which means from support to resistance. Most of the time it hits the resistance, but not follow through yet. It comes with high volumes. Okay, it comes with high volume. So this pocket pivot bar is actually trying to tell you that the smart money are keen to follow through, to make the follow through, but yet they're stuck at resistance for a while. So most of the time, if you notice your chart got this kind of formation, okay, you can actually try to plan your trades. Probably sometimes you'll make a few days of pullback. You lower down your risk, then you know subsequently they'll try again on the resistance. Okay, I'll share with you more example later on. Or maybe our next masterclass revision, I'll show you few trades. G-Shen is the best one. Okay, so far, of course, followed by RC cap. I think Ecover SB30 also having this kind of pocket pivot bars too. Okay, so type 1 for me, if you understand, don't trade too close with weakness bar. Okay, don't trade too close with weakness bar. Okay, when I say weakness bar, it doesn't mean it's like a pullback bar. Pullback low volume is okay. But if you see your chart got like, you know, 2 or 3 sort of high volume, even though yes, there's 1 bar high volume coming in, it doesn't mean anything because the weakness is still in control, the background. The good news is that, okay, I think after the up bar high volumes, probably, you know, the downtrend will stop, or maybe it go to sideways. Okay, example, I think like K Powers, Sabah, SCIB. Okay, it will stop for a while, but it will move sideways. Okay, it will move sideways. So best is that you wait for sideways first. Price go to accumulation or reaccumulation. Then only you plan out the trades. Okay. Now this is another example. KSSC, I kind of surprised, you know, the up bar high will come in so fast. Okay, I thought this one is going to sideways for a while. Okay, so here, sell off high volumes. Okay, here we got 1 bar high volumes coming up. Okay, but again, don't trade because this is really too close with the sell high volumes. But here I think it's slightly better right now. Okay, because this bar is higher volumes, crossing back to 2040s. Okay, but same things also, I don't think it will straight away challenge here. Okay, maybe it will goes up a little bit, drop a little bit, and you know, it cross below 2040s for a while, then it will cross back up. Okay, so maybe I want to see the test 2 time, okay, around 2040s area before I want to plan for my trade again for my KSSC. Okay, so this is technically what is the few steps I used to do whenever I want to check if the stock is in reaccumulation or not, is the stock is doing a healthy reaccumulation or not, and how to avoid at least, you know, the distribution stocks. Okay, now don't I cannot really answer, you know, how long the period is, okay, during this reaccumulation. Like I said, the one I'm holding Syntax is I think more than 8 months. Okay, so this is one of the longest stock that I hold, to be frank. So most of the time it's around like 2 or 3 months. Okay, sometimes they will make a immediate follow through. Okay, so any other questions regarding this reaccumulation? Okay, I think this is my last case study. Okay, let me know if you got any questions or you all get a better understanding how to check reaccumulation stocks. Type 1 yes, type 2 no. Futures market, I'll check later on. So because I don't really look into futures market, so that's why. Okay, never mind, it's okay. Let's look into futures market. Okay, probably I take few more stocks. We do some example. Okay, we do some example. Okay, now this is one of the example. I think just now there's one member asked me, so that's why I do a quick and short video. So Dow bar high volume. Okay, so this is representing the weaknesses is in control. Okay, let's check over here. Okay, so cutting below 2040s. Okay, now let's say the smart money is keen. Okay, most of the time it will try to cross back 2040s, test back 2040s. Okay, but in this case here, it's like now it's like very far from 2040s already. I haven't seen the up bar high volume yet. Okay, I haven't seen the up bar high volume yet, so I don't think it's going to reverse very soon. Okay, so wait for, if let's say you're interested, wait for the up bar high volume. I think the best one I can remember so far is Olam. Okay, if not mistaken, yes, I think it's Olam. Okay, it dropped heavily. Okay, after some period of uptrend from here to here. Okay, so let's see how many percent. From the bottom to the top is 50%. Okay, from the top to the bottoms, here is around 30%, 29 to 30%. So it's more than half, okay, on the uptrends there. So it's a big drop. Okay, again, cutting below 2040s. So whenever they cut 2040s, remember you want to see the up bar high volumes, right? So this is the one. Okay, but don't enter immediately. You want to see how well it will support. So I think this is a kind of very good support if you realize. So maybe they will like test here for a while and come back again. Okay, do some tests on 2040s. Okay, before they continue to change the resistance. Okay, so this is one of the good examples that I have. Okay, let's do CL. I haven't checked CL for quite some time. So CL. Oh yeah, I think CL also got the same things also on like here. So example here, drop below 2040s, test 1, 2. Okay, so here, so it seems like they are crossing back. Okay, maybe it goes up, test 2 times. Okay, before they have this kind of continuation on trend again. Okay, so you can use now it's crossing back to 2040s. Okay, hopefully it will goes up, test at least 2 times. Okay, how about SCPO? Okay, I think SCPO tested successfully. But this is not a long period reaccumulation. Okay, this is more like a continuations for me. Okay, because the futures and stock actually they behave differently. Okay, because I watch a lot of stocks most of the time. Okay, so for stocks usually they will like make a two times of a testing. Okay, so this one is drop below 2040s, cross, seems like they are testing around here. Okay, so far so good because it's above 2040s. Okay, any other stocks that you think is kind of similar with this example? Do you think PFE is just a pullback or entry and distribution? PFE. Okay, let's go into PFE. Oh, if you ask me, I think they are still okay so far. Okay, okay so far. So let's look into weekly chart first. Okay, it's a bit far from 2040s. This is to answer KS. Okay, previously got a similar setup as well. Drop 2040s. Okay, pushing it back 1, 2. Okay, we got some sort of like a high volume around this area. Okay, now this is a bit far from 2040s. Okay, far from 2040s. I think on weekly basis they will make a pullbacks. Okay, so here we got some uptrust high volume. Now it's a bit difficult for me to tell, is this a distribution or potential reaccumulation? But at the moment, I still think it's a, maybe you do a reaccumulation. Okay, even though yes, this is a uptrust high volumes, right? But the subsequent bar on this pullback, so-called pullback bar, okay, it doesn't come with widespread down by high volume. Okay, it doesn't come with yep, still pretty okay the volume overall. But I think it will maybe, you know, drop a bit of 2040s, and maybe, you know, it will similar like here. Similar like here. Yeah, maybe this kind of range here. Okay, because currently the price is a bit far from 2040s. So a bigger pullback is expected. Okay, welcome Laihi. Any other stocks that is similar? Let's try complete. Okay, so okay, now let's focus on this chart now, complete. Do you think that you can spot the upper high volumes? Okay, welcome KS. Okay, now let's focus on this complete before we close. Do you think you can spot the upper high volume that stopped the overall so-called pullbacks? Okay, again, let's study these counters. From accumulation from here to the top, we have how many percent in this one? 168%. Okay, 170%. Okay, so it's a big movement. Okay, within few days, I think around like 3 weeks, it hits almost 170%. So again, it's a big movement. Okay, so from the top to this bottom over here, almost 40%. Okay, so yep, it's a big so-called pullback. Okay, so usually you got this kind of big movements. You expect, you know, some sort like a sideways coming in, right? So this is fulfilling the criteria. So the up bar high volume, if you want to ask me, I think is the quality one definitely is this bar. Okay, I think these two bars over here. Okay, this is the up bar. Sorry, this yeah, this is the bar. Okay, up bar. Okay, come with high volume. So it also in the same line, it push about 2040s, drop a little bit. Okay, so like I say, sometimes it's not exactly the same, right? You drop a little bit, but most of the time it will hold well. Okay, in this bar. So, well, I can say that this is actually in reaccumulation, not a distribution anymore. Okay, so any other questions so far? Okay, let's try Hexstar. Hexstar now dropped a little bit on 2040s, huh? But I think overall it's not that bad. Maybe a reaccumulation like this is expected. Okay, so sometimes it dropped a little bit, but here if you realize it doesn't come with strong weakness bar. Okay, let's try from here to here is 20%. So okay, if I start from the initial accumulation somewhere around here to the top, because all this actually is considered as a pullback, it holding more above 2040s. So it moved up 200%, it pulled back 40%. Okay, so it's not a big drop, so that's why it tends to have few months of just a very quick type of reaccumulation. So here I think it's the same thing. So I don't see a big selling bar coming in yet. Okay, but expect again few months of reaccumulation like this. Okay, might be happening soon. Okay, because of the strong uptrends. Okay, I think I do see some shortening of the trust as well. Okay, if I put here 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit to see clearer. Okay, so if you realize each time before they do a pullback of reaccumulations, right? If this range is getting shorter, so this is telling you that the trend might be exhausted. It won't be like a distribution sign, okay, but maybe the trend is exhausted. Sometimes they will like this a little bit. Okay, so this is what I can see from Hexstar because I don't see a weakness, but because of the trend is going for some times already, so a long period of reaccumulation is expected. Okay, so kind of similar to DNO, if not mistaken, DNO. So DNO also got a very clear shortening of trust. So if I put here, okay, so this is the latest resistance. Okay, realize also the DNO, they actually dropped below 240 as well in this period. Okay, put it over here. So this one also put it over here. Okay, we use the top, okay, of each of these before the pullbacks. Okay, we use the top, okay, to draw the line. Okay, so somewhere around here. So if you realize this one is kind of wide, so the trend is in a very good mood momentum. So from this top to this top, if you realize the trend, the range is getting shorter and smaller. So here also getting shorter and smaller. So this is again a sign of the trend is, you know, kind of like slowing down a little bit already. So maybe a reaccumulation is expected. Okay, another way to see this. I think BTC also having the same things. Okay, so this is more obvious. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, if you realize this is a good trend going up, here it stopped and it reversed. Here is even shorter and it dropped below 240s. Okay, so this is few way also you can actually check. Okay, it's a start in going into reaccumulations or not, or maybe monitor for more sign of weakness for distribution sign. Zai, do you create your own screener in TradingView? Oh no, I don't create my own screener. Okay, I still use the TradeVSA screener. Okay, for Hazan, okay, because I think you are just new, joined yesterday, right? So remember to use the screener in TradeVSA.com. Okay, so this is actually what I use. Okay, I use the daily screener only. Okay, any other questions before we close? Okay, so again, last questions before I close. Let me know if today's section is clear or not regarding reaccumulation, or you are still confused, or at least get a better understanding on what is reaccumulation and how to spot. Okay, like I said, I need your feedback, so at least I know how to prepare for my next section. Okay, so next week I still haven't really think a good topic yet for next week. What do you think I should cover for next week? Okay, good, thank you. Okay, yes, better understanding. Okay, thank you, Chu and Cynthia. So this monthly training, because I think there's few members asking me about value investing momentum trading. Okay, so probably I will check with my Sifu Martin if let's say he can do a section or not for this monthly training. Okay, so for next week, what do you think I should cover? Okay, welcomes everyone. Okay, any particular topics that you all interested? Breakout strategy. Oh, okay. Ken, maybe I will consider that, like, because to be frank, the reason why I consider because I rarely use breakout strategy. I rarely use, okay, unless it's from hourly chart. Okay, unless it's from hourly chart, because I really do use on the NSM pullback. Okay, so just an example, I think CSC is still not mistaken today, but it's okay. Let me check and probably I'll cover it. Okay, not CSC. What is the side part? Is it? Okay. Now usually what I do is that if let's say I really want to use breakout, I use hourly chart. Okay, I use hourly chart. So I think I do post out this in the morning, right? Okay, high volumes, LC, after the pullback. After the pullback. Okay, so maybe next week I will cover this part. Okay, can cover different market US for the volume count different to it. Yes, you've been correct too. So yep, to be frank, I still not really familiar with US market. Okay, so that's why needs a little bit of study on that. But so far, Alif, Coach Alif is doing a lot of US trading right now. Okay, so maybe I'll arrange a section with him as well to do a weekly training together. Okay, so next week I'm going back to office. Maybe I'll discuss with Alif to have a US weekly trainings with you all. Any reason you don't use breakout? Yes, because like I said, I always look for 8% risk. So sometimes breakout is already like 5-6% already. And if let's say I need to cut loss below my support, is definitely more than 8%. So that's why I feel not so comfortable to use breakout. But it's good to use it if let's say your hourly chart show a very good sign. Okay, for example, remember in the 7-day tutorial we talked about different time frame. Okay, so if I'm using this side part, for example, okay, by the way, anyone in side part? Okay, tab 1, yes, tab 2, no. So if you notice side part actually yesterday also formed like a pullback. So in this pullback area, you want to monitor for a potential breakout in hourly chart. So even though there's a breakout in hourly chart, your risk is not that far actually. Okay, but if you wait for daily chart to break out, like for example today it's already 5-6% away. Okay, so if you want to cut below the 40 MA, then probably is slightly a bit risky. Okay, so this is just my personal preference and you know, the things that I like to do. Okay, Mr. Chu say got side part. Okay, but it's okay. Tomorrow I will sorry, next week I will cover on the breakout strategy. Maybe I'll focus in hourly chart. Okay, so with this, thank you for joining me today. I will post this video out later on to the Telegram channel. So like I said, if you let's say you got any things that you want me to cover it, or you want to ask me, text to me. Okay, so I'll compile it and I will, you know, share it out, okay, during this kind of weekly training section with you all. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.